Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another BTNeanderthal video. Today we're covering the Freezing Arrow Amazon for Project Diablo 2 Season 5. This is one of my favorite characters of all time in this mod, and I think you guys might like it too. So let's jump into it. Start things off, we have Ice Bow, and a couple other options would be like early on Wizen Draw. Melody is also very good. We could also use Mavina's set for this setup as well, but this is the setup that I actually prefer to use. We have Nightwing's Veil, then we have Mavina's Armor, basically anything with +2 skills. If you can get some facets in there as well, it's fantastic. Mara's, you'd want ultimately 3 bow and crossbow skills. If you can get Pierce and bow skills on this pair of arrows, that's fantastic. Mana per kill is actually pretty important. Basically, any source of mana per kill on this build is actually super important because of how mana hungry as it is, as you can see from the gameplay. We also want 220 gloves. I couldn't find them for the beta, so we're just using 210s, but 220s are good. Another option would be Frostburns with the Pierce. Anything with plus cold damage on it actually adds to the duration that enemies are frozen. So if you feel like the monsters are not frozen for very long, add some more cold damage sources. This does add to the duration. You can do that through charms, through gear, to make the build like super safe, because this build does not really stack a lot of resistance. Skill rings are pretty good. We can also use Ravenfrost for Cannot Be Frozen. I know we have double Cannot Be Frozen. This is just for beta testing. But, you know, skill rings, res rings, MF rings, things like that. We can also use Snow Clash, Arachnid's Mesh, any form of MF or resistance on those as well. The Merman's Sprocket boots are super sick because they add cold damage, which again does that additional duration thing. And then we also have 60 faster run walk. If not, you can always go tri-res and fast run walk there. And we got Call to Arms on swap and Lidless Wall. We want resistances if we can. Cold damage charms also very good. Bow and crossbow skillers are also solid as well. If you can get basically any other mod with that, that's fantastic as well. And you can also use Vigor on swap with Harmony. Then we go over to these skills. Obviously nothing in the Jav and Spear skill tree. We're going to be putting a 1 point at least into pretty much everything here for the utility. And we want to make sure overall throughout the build we have 100% Pierce. Unfortunately for the demonstration of the video, we only had 85% projectile Pierce. 100% is actually really important, and you'll be able to see that once you play it yourself. But once you have 100% Pierce, that's super strong. Any extra points you have would go into Evade for additional movement speed. You can also use and then also we're going to be putting Max Magic Arrow, Max Cold, Ice, and Freezing Arrow. All these skills are maxed. Obviously, Freezing Arrow is our main ability here to kill out density, and Ice Arrow is to kill out single target bosses. It has an insane amount of DPS, but it doesn't have the AoE that Freezing Arrow does. Everything about Freezing Arrow is that if you can line up more density and more monsters in a row, you do additional damage to them because of the additional procs from Freezing Arrow explosions every single time it hits. So it's actually really strong. As far as the Mercenary gear, pretty much the same thing as the Sorceress. We just want Infinity to lower the resistance of monsters. You can also use a Plus Spitter Act 1 Mercenary with Vigor Aura, very strong. And then basically things to keep him alive or her alive as much as possible. So damage reduction, we can do resistances, life stolen, attack speed, things like that. Again, some of these are just test pieces. Again, we have a bunch of hell runes in here just so we can wear the gear on and swap gear around. But, you know, we could use Fortitude, we could use Duriel Shell. There's so many options here. As far as the attributes go, you again want just enough to be able to put all your gear on. That's strength and dexterity at least. And then the rest of it goes into vitality. You can put some into energy, but as long as you have enough mana per kill on your items, then you can do that. You can even just use tier runes in items temporarily until you get some nice mana per kill. So that concludes the Freezing Arrow Amazon. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like the video so other people can see it as well, and it helps me out. It's absolutely free. And then you could also subscribe because I have more content on the way. Thank you all for watching. Much love to all of you. You're all beasts.